Cisco on the 1. The 6, Legendary Knight, Jeff Niceonger. Jeff Niceonger, the 6, Legendary Knight. Second race, scratch the 2, Trackside Thomas. The 3, Let's Go for Real, Jason Beatty. Jason Beatty on the 3, Let's Go for Real. Third race, scratch the 6, 3 card. Scratch the 6, 3 card. No changes in race 4. Fifth race, scratch the 5, Astrology, and the 6, Dude included. 5 and 6 are scratched in the 5th. No changes in the 6th. Seventh race, scratch the 4, Money Like It Is. Scratch the 4, Money Like It Is. Eighth race, number 5, Big Country Legend. Make the driver now, Scott Cisco. Scott Cisco will drive the 5, Big Country Legend. The 7, Spectacular Rock, Cam McGowan. Ninth race is clear. 10th race, number 4, That's Last Shot, Scott Cisco. Scott Cisco on the 4, That's Last Shot in race 10. In the 11th, number 6, Bullville Fast Boy, Cam McGowan. Cam McGowan drives the 6, Bullville's Fast Boy. Those are the changes and corrections as we now have them on this afternoon's racing program.
The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing is presented by the Ohio Veterinary Medical Center, Big D Tack and Vet Supply, Dublin Valley Farms, Stable.ca, and Midland Acres. Now let's go trackside for all the action.
The first race, a maiden event sponsored by Raining Cats and Dogs. Official starter, Mike Wilkenberg, leading the post parade. Number 1, girls are Players 2 with Scott Cisco. The 2, Miami Vice, Dylan Fagan. Number 3, Flying on Bayou, Jason Beatty. Number 4, Bet the Bookie with D. Sanders. Number 5, Night Digestion, Ronnie Gillespie. In the 6th, Legendary Knight, Jeff Nysonger. Mr. Gillespie, you were out of order.
Well, welcome racing fans to the Darke County Fairgrounds here, the third program of racing. We got surprised by the post parade. We didn't even get to welcome anybody until we had our first post parade, but Roger's announcing the first 5 races, so he's going to have them on time.
That he does. I was to say, well, Roger's on the mic, so that's why we are going to move right along, and everybody's going to be in correct order. There he was.
Yep.
Just calling Ron Gillespie out for being one ahead of where he should have been. True to Roger Houston fashion. But here we are, Susan, as you said, in the third racing card, another one coming back this evening. This is a full day at Greenville.
Absolutely, and everybody, you need to keep track of, we're going to be posting on Facebook when the night card is actually going to start. We have heard that it may move up even to 6:30, 6:15, depending on when the Veterans Parade gets done this afternoon.
But before we have that, of course, we have, I believe it's 11 on tap. Today, all overnights. This is not something we see much at county fairs anymore. Pure overnight card.
Yeah, so we're not going to know most of these horses that are in here, so we won't have any. We'll just be reading along with the program just like you. But we've got 62 horses in this afternoon. That was before the scratches. And 31 trainers. And Todd Luther looks like he's got the most. He's got 7 in. Pat Malloy's got 5 or 6 in. Dan O'Mara's got 5. So a couple of really busy trainers out there.
So we can go ahead. There is a field of 6 for our first race, the first division of maidens, with an also eligible of just 2-year-olds. Purse of $1,000. This is a pace. Starting from the rail, we have girls are Players 2. Scott Cisco to drive for Thomas Horner Jr. This is a 4-year-old mare by Stay Hungry out of a Western Ideal mare. So last start out was also a maiden in Greenville. So just last week had a 3rd place finish in that overnight. 2 minutes. Jason Beatty was in the bike, still looking for the first lifetime win.
Miami Vice and Dylan Fagan from the 2 for trainer Brett Schwartz. Schwartz, Fagan, and Bean are the owners of this Catch the Fire 2-year-old filly. It's out of a Better's Delight mare. 8 starts on the year, but has not hit the winner's circle yet. Did finish 3rd a few starts back at Athens in 2-5-2.
The 3, Jason Beatty, will drive for William Miller II, Flying on Bayou, another 4-year-old mare by Western Terror. 33 lifetime starts, looking to hit the board for the first time this season. A couple back at Oak Grove did go a mile in 1:57 flat.
Bet the Bookie and D. Sanders from the 4-hole for trainer Todd Luther, owner Greg Luther Racing. This is a 2-year-old gelding by Better's Wish out of a Real Artist mare. 5 starts on the year. Did finish 2nd at the Meadows in a non-winners of 1. Paces mile in 54-4.
The 5 will be driven by Ronnie Gillespie. Night divides a day for Mike Albright. 2 starts back, has been quite a lot at Hoosier, but 3 starts back, did have a 5th place finish at Hoosier in 1:58-3. 6 starts this year with only 1 2nd place finish.
Legendary Night changed the driver to Jeff Nysonger. Craig Bowman is the trainer for Werley Racing. A bit of a legend 2-year-old. 5 starts on the year, was 2nd at Urbana in 2 minutes and 3/5.
Here is Roger with the call of the first.
They're off and pacing off stride, Bet the Bookie. As they race into the turn, on top of the field and taking the early lead, that is Flying On Bayou. Racing second is Girls Are Players 2. From way back, here comes Legendary Night and Jeff Nicehonger. Now fourth, now third, now second. That's Legendary Night up on the outside after the leader, Flying On Bayou. As they race into the turn, racing third, Girls Are Players 2. Racing fourth, Bet the Bookie. Into the turn, racing fifth. As they race over the first quarter mark, it's Night Divides the Day. Opening quarter in 30 2/5, and treading the field, Miami Vice following the early break. Into the lane first time, past the 3/8 mark. On top of the field and showing the way, Jeff Nicehonger, Legendary Night, leads by a length and a half. Flying On Bayou, racing second, racing third. Girls Are Players 2, racing fourth, Bet the Bookie. Fifth is Night Divides the Day, and treading the field, Miami Vice. Halfway home in 101 2/5. On to the backside they go. Legendary Night continues to show the way. Here comes D. Sanders and Bet the Bookie. Now fourth, now third, moving up. Following the cover will be Night Divides the Day. Down the backside, pulling the pocket, Flying On Bayou. Now on the outside and doing just that. Flying On Bayou at the 3/4 mark. Inside, Legendary Night fights back, continuing to close ground. Bet the Bookie ready to go 3 wide. 3/4, 131 and 4. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. The end of the stretch they come. They battle for the wire as they pace home. On top of the field and showing the way, it's Flying On Bayou opening up. Closing late on the outside, Girls Are Playing 2. Finishing third, Legendary Night. The mile, 2:01.
Flying On Bayou breaks the maiden. Jason Beatty in the bike, 2:01.
They've been waiting a while for this mare to break it because she is 4 years old and has not hit the winner's circle yet. So this is going to be a nice surprise, welcome into the winner's circle for her.
Looks to be the first start for Flying On Bayou under a new trainer, William Miller II. Coming from somebody I guess I'm not familiar with, but must be a Kentucky trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, this overnight card. Jason Beatty won, I think, 7 out of 9 races. It was absolutely remarkable. And he was down on a lot of horses today, so
yeah,
he kind of had his choice. I'm looking for him to have another big one today.
Big night, big afternoon, yeah. And there was a couple horses making breaks right away, and Jeff Nicehonger took a look at that and said, I'm just going. So he went right to the top, and his horse did get a little bit tired coming home, but he was getting out of the way of all that traffic trouble in that first turn.
It looked like D. Sanders was in a real good spot around the last turn, too.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of second over and looked like it had plenty of pace and made a little bobble there.
I do have them unofficially across the wire, 3-1-6-5.
Owned by Carol Skinner of Cynthiana, Kentucky. William Miller II is the winning trainer. Jason Beatty in the sulky. 4-year-old mare, the Western Terror, the Red Reba. Home winner in 2:01. Final half, 59-3. The final quarter, 28-1. Make that 29-1. William Miller II, Jason Beatty, Flying On Bayou. Number 1, Girls Are Players 2. The 2, Miami Vice 6. The 3, Flying On Bayou, the winner. The 4, Bet the Bookie 5. The 5, Night Divides the Day 4. The 6, Legendary Night 3. Top down 2-6-1 5-4 3 on the bottom. The quarter 30-2. The half 101-2. 3/4 131-4. The mile 2:01. Second race coming up. Scratch the 2, Trackside Thomas. Number 3, Let's Go for Real, Jason Beatty. Don't be shut out. Wager now.
Well, starting out the race card with a really nice mile, coming home in 29-1 on that 2-1 mile. So we know the racetrack is in great shape again, as usual, here at Greenville.
First trip into the winner's circle flying on by you. I'm not sure if she liked it too much.
Yeah,
she was
didn't
ready
look
to
like
get
she cared for
out.
it.
Yeah.
But we did actually, we did pay $7.60 to win. Exacta goes for $65. So off to a nice little start here today. We're going to flip the page over to race 2, a first division of maidens for trotters. Also eligible, of course, those 2-year-olds. Just a scratch down now to a field of 4. Susan and I will take you through this field after a couple messages from sponsors.
The Darke County Fair in Greenville is one of the biggest stages in Ohio County Fair harness racing. Holding its first fair in 1853, there's almost 170 years worth of standardbred racehorse history. Completely heard of for its time, the harness racing purse toppled $2,200 in 1898. Today, that momentum keeps going as Darke County is one of the highest paying fairs in the entire state. Evident by their hosted memorial stakes, great horses and horsemen alike are legendary for Greenville. 3 Immortal Harness Hall of Fame inductees claim this fairgrounds as home. Hugh, Doc Partial, and Gene Regal were both well-established trainers. Between the two, they won a combination of the Hambletonian, Breeder's Crown, Adios, the Countess Adios, Kentucky Fraternity, Messenger, Jugette, and the Little Brown Jug. Regal also trained the 3rd Harness Hall of Fame inductee, the immortal trotter Arnie Almahurst. Folded in 1970, Arnie set several national marks and won many major stakes. He sired outstanding colts such as Florida Pro and Ardun, who set a world record in 154. The Darke County Fair is a member of the Ohio Colt Racing Association. They host 3 days of live-action harness racing.
Hi, I'm Dean Gillespie, and I want to tell you about the Ohio Colt Racing Association. There's 19 member fairs, and they sponsor the partial futurity in Greenville, Ohio. You need to race in the OCRA. Great racetracks, great people. Bring the kids and come out to the fair, and remember, fair time is fun time.
Welcome back to Greenville, the Darke County Fair. Ashley Daly, Matt Clark, and myself are here today. Bring you all the action, 11 races this afternoon, and then we come back for possibly an early card. I know it is was advertised to start at either 7 or 7:15, depending on what you looked at, but we may start even earlier, so keep your eye on Facebook posts. We'll post as soon as we know, but we won't know until after the Veterans Parade and everything is over, so we probably won't be announcing that until around 5, but you know. You don't want to miss any of the action tonight. So we had a little blurb there.
Yeah. I mean, that could make it kind of tough on the people shipping in tonight and LASIK schedule and all that too, right?
That was, I just called my mom to let her know. That was her biggest concern was a LASIK schedule. And even just this night brings a huge crowd to Greenville. And being that flexible is a little tough if people really want to come and wager and not knowing when to show up.
When to get here, yeah. Well, I know a lot of people come early because they give away the Regal glasses tonight.
Oh,
and it always says, well, supplies last. So people get here pretty darn early so that they can make sure that they get one of those collector glasses.
I think there's lots going on tonight. Also, isn't Charlie May giving away some signed autographs with the Conrad photos?
Yes.
Hosts the second race, a maiden trot sponsored by Hensbarger Home Solutions. Number 1, No Love Christian with Ronnie Gillespie. Number 2 is scratched. Number 3, Let's Go for Real, the driver Jason Beatty. Number 4, Dublin Boulevard with Scott Cisco. And number 5, Let's Go North, Doug Rideout in the sulky.
So we are scratched down to a field of 4 trotters. They're all 2-year-olds. There's only one that has won a race, but he's in due to the fact that it's also eligible 2-year-olds. So the 1 is Nola Christian. Ronnie Gillespie drives. Dan O'Meara is the trainer. Thomas Mark Carsey from DeLeon Springs, Florida, owns this 2-year-old filly by Stormin' Norman out of a Feel Like a Winner mare, Feel L, excuse me. This horse just had the 1 start. That was at Greenville on the 17th, so a couple days back. Did make a break at the start and finished back distanced.
The 2 is a scratch. Moving on to our 3-horse, Let's Go For Real. Jason Beatty in the bike for Ben Thatcher. This is another filly by Don't Let 'Em. Coming actually off of a win, wire to wire. I am not sure of that. I'm assuming that's a fair.
I think it's in India. I think those are all Indiana fairs.
Indiana fairs. So we do have a start at Hoosier Park as well, but looks like to have coming off of a win from an Indiana fair. Went that mile in 2:05.3. Final quarter 29.3. This is the most seasoned out of this group. 6 starts with just that 1 win I had mentioned. Has made about $2,800 so far.
Dublin Boulevard and Scott Cisco from the 4. Scott is also the trainer. And Koblenz Equine, Vinton, Ohio, the owner. This is a 3-year-old filly by Enterprise out of an Andover Hall mare, Matriarch Hanover. No starts, but has had 2 qualifiers, both of those at Scioto Downs. But both of those were back in May. So qualified the first time, made a break at about at the quarter pole. And the second time did trot in 2-4. But as I said, that was back in May. So a long layoff.
Rounding out the field is the 5, Let's Go North. Doug Rideout does drive and train this 2-year-old colt, another one by Don't Let 'Em. All Indiana owned. Julie Rideout, Alan White, and Peter Smucker of Indiana. Just 1 seasonal start that did come back a couple weeks ago on August 8th. That same Indiana fair had a 5th place finish. Really was 5th the entire mile. However, did make an additional break in front of that wire. Went the mile in 2:10.2.
I do know some of those Indiana fairs. There's Kendallville, Shelbyville, Connorsville. I think they're all villes. But the one that starts with a P.
PTLND. I
Yeah.
am not familiar with.
Sure either.
Looks
But
like Doug Rideout still having another good year over there. He's kind of the king of the Indiana fairs over there for sure. Yeah, 369 for a driver and 320 something for a trainer. He's got a lot of nice horses with a lot of starts.
and we do get a lot of people from Indiana coming over here because we're so close.
This is not a far, honestly, maybe 30 minutes to the border, and that might even be pushing it.
I think it's about an hour to Hoosier from here.
Okay.
I think
That's
is what I heard, yeah. So not a bad ship.
And at Hicksville last night, I was talking to a gentleman, and he said he lives 10 miles from Hicksville, and he's in Indiana.
Huh.
So he's pretty close. We are on this side.
Susan, we have lots of Charlie May T-shirts.
I have mine on underneath
Oh,
my
do you?
sweatshirt.
I think I'm going to go put mine on
Yep.
at the hotel between cards.
I want to be part of the orange movement tonight.
It's going to be huge.
I saw what I first noticed was Brad Conrad has his on, and we have lots of fans I've seen all over the place with their orange Tiger T-shirts. Will Don be here tonight? Is he making the trip?
Yes, I heard that he was.
Good stuff. Charlie Bay back this evening to defend his title, set the track record last year at 150 flat.
That was an amazing night.
Who is driving
did
Charlie
that.
tonight? Because it's not
Dan Noble.
Dan
Okay, because
Noble.
it's not Brett, and that is who set the track record with Charlie last year. Danny, gotcha.
From what I understand, Roger, I think, said might have been the first person to ever qualify Charlie May. So he's sat behind him before. It's just been a while.
Okay.
Which we know Danny, of course, very well on the Southern Ohio circuit. A class act in himself. And here we go. Looks like we are going to slowly move into position. Scratch down to a field of 4.
We got our outrider there in the middle again. Of the same, I think it's the same horse he had the other night. As horse doing the head bobbing thing. That's how
wants to go and do his job.
Yes.
We'll say that. I think Roger does know who our outrider is. I think he announced his name was Bobby Warner.
Oh, okay.
Say not somebody that I am familiar with. We see a lot of Katie Hartman, Jasmine Arnold, kind of over where I grew up, but I believe his name is Bobby Warner. Maybe our audience will know. If we don't know, the audience knows. From the rail out, this second race, Nola Christian. The 2 is a scratch. 3, Let's Go For Real, Dublin Boulevard, and Let's Go North. Here is Roger with the call of the second.
Here they come. Get your windows still open.
A recall.
I did not catch
What it was?
Yeah, I'm gonna say where we're located. We're kind of tucked. Can't see much into that turn.
Whenever there's a recall, I like to get my USTA book out, and so it was charge to number 3. I have it bookmarked so I can always find it, because I always have the question about. So reasons for recalls: a horse scores ahead of the gate, there is interference, a horse has broken equipment, there is a malfunction of the starting gate, a horse falls before the word go is given, or a horse comes to the gate out of position. So there are only those 6 reasons for a recall. Used to be more, but they changed those rules. I don't know, it's probably been quite a while ago. So nobody's headed back to the barn for equipment changes.
Like you said, Susan, this is really a very unraced field, though.
Yes.
Possibly an interference issue. I will say our very first race at Lima yesterday, we had the same problem. Did have a recall with an interference issue. And it's just part of course, you never want to see it, but sometimes just part of figuring these 2- and 3-year-olds. We only have one 3-year-old in this field, but was completely unraced as a 2-year-old.
Yes. Yeah, when they haven't seen the gate too much, it's always can be a problem for some of them.
They're all in behind the Whoop-Converge starting gate on the upper turn. Gate swings into the stretch check. Here they come. They're off and trotting. Let's go for real for the lead. Onola Christian on the inside, second. Up on the outside, Dublin Boulevard, third. And trailing the field, Let's Go North. All in straight alignment as they race over to the first eighth. On to the backside they go. Let's Go for real. Jason Beatty lead the way. Ronnie Gillespie, Nola Christian is right there, second, racing third. Dublin Boulevard with Scott Cisco, trailing the field. Let's Go North. Doug Rideout can see them all as they race by the opening quarter. On top, Let's Go for real. Opening quarter in 32 4/5. Nola Christian is there, second, racing third. Dublin Boulevard, and the trailer remains. Let's Go North. Off stride goes Nola Christian. Into the lane first time, coming to the halfway point. Let's Go for real. Continues to show the way by 2.5. Dublin Boulevard is there second. Let's Go North now third. Back trotting but trailing is Nola Christian at the halfway point. Let's Go for real. Takes him by the half and heads for the 5/8 mark. Halfway home in 1:05 3. Let's Go for Real's off stride. Getting the lead now is Dublin Boulevard and Scott Cisco, and inheriting that spot down the backside. Let's Go North is now second. Getting back into it, Ronnie Gillespie and Nolan Christian down the backside. Off stride goes Let's Go North. At the three-quarter mark, Scott Cisco, Dublin Boulevard with the lead. Nola Christian is now second. 3/4, 1:37 and 2. Midway around the final turn, Scott Cisco and Dublin Boulevard open up by 5, make it 6. Nola Christian is there second, racing third into the lane. Let's Go North, coming for the payoff. Off stride goes Dublin Boulevard, and on the inside, gonna get it all, Nolan Christian and Ronnie Gillespie. Home second, Let's Go North over Dublin Boulevard.
That was a very messy race, and after a perfect start.
I was going to say I really had high hopes because no one ran out of the gate, and
Yep.
usually with these trotters, especially babies, that if it's going to happen, it's going to be
Right.
when there's a whole lot of action.
And they kind of went around the turn before anybody. It was really a pretty start to a race. But everybody ran at some point.
Yeah. I thought Scott Cisco was going to get that win.
Yeah.
With that 3-year-old filly, but ran mid-stretch.
I didn't hear the final time yet.
I have not either.
We're at the 3/4 and 37 and 2, so it's going to be probably 2:10-ish.
I will say, though, the Let's Go for Real, our 3-horse that Jason Beatty was on, really was such a strong trotter until she made that very first break. And then Jason did have her kind of pushed her on a little bit after that break on the backside, and she probably ran off of her feet.
Yeah.
But she's got a motor as long as she wants to behave herself.
Well, that's what matters with these young horses. If they don't have to trot so fast, but they just have to trot.
And here is Ron Gillespie.
Thomas Mark Casey of De Leon Springs, Florida, the owner. Dan O'Mara. Ronnie Gillespie in the sulky. 2-year-old filly with Storm Norman out of Field, LA. Lifetime mark 209. Blanket sponsored by Hansbarger Home Solutions goes to Dan O'Mara, Ronnie Gillespie. And for trainer Dan O'Mara, a belated birthday gift with the victory by Nola Christian. Results are official. Number 1, Nola Christian, the winner. The 2 is Scratch. The 3, Let's Go for Real, 4. The 4, Dublin Boulevard, 3. The 5, Let's Go North, 2. Top down, 1 Scratch, 4. 3, 2 on the bottom. The quarter, 32 and 4. The half, 105, 3. 3/4, 137, 2. The mile, 209. In the third race coming up, scratch number 3, Johnny Freight. Late scratch on the 3, Johnny Freight. Also scratch the 6, 3 card. The 3, Johnny Freight, and the 6, 3 card, both are scratched in race 3. 4 to go postward in the third. Don't be shut out. Wager now.
Susan, there we go. Official for race 2. Unfortunately,